I closed my eyes, hoping I'd open them and be back in my bed and be taught this was all a nightmare, or at the very least, I hoped I was just seeing things. But as I opened my eyes back up again, I saw that my hopes were nothing but wishful thinking. This was happening, and there was simply nothing I could do to stop it. I stared out the window, or I guess I tried, but all I could see was pure white, a sight I had loved to see as a kid, the white specks falling from the sky. Of course, now there was no falling specks, just white, almost as if God had forgotten to draw the rest of the world. As I stared, I thought to myself, what should I do? What could I do? I reached into my pocket for my phone, although I'm not sure why. I knew it would be of no use. I guess I was just used to having it in my hand and using it to help myself. Just the thought of that sent me back into my panic. I ran over to a sink hidden in the corner, hoping maybe I could get myself some water, but nothing came out of the tap. I stopped and took 3 deep breaths and looked around for my next move. Next to the large window, there was a set of stairs. They led up to some private practice rooms for the band kids, and through that hallway you had access to the school's upper floor. My brain knew at least that getting to higher ground was a smart idea, so with all the strength and energy I could make my body muster, I bolted across the band room and up the stairs. I walked past all the practice rooms and exited out into the upstairs hallway. My feet stopped, and the silence fell. I looked down the empty hallway, and suddenly the silence ended. I heard a sound, almost the same sound I'd hear when my brother came home late at night and took a shower. It was running water. I raced towards the source of the sound. It was coming from the girls' washroom. In the heat of the moment, I walked in with little hesitation, and to my surprise, the first thing I saw was Cassie, just finishing pulling on her gym shorts. "Paul, what are you doing in here?" she asked me with a confused look on her face. "Cassie," I said, "you're still here?" She looked at me even more confused than before. "Yes," she said before pausing, waiting for a word out of me. "What are you doing in the women's washroom?" I stared at her for a second before beginning to speak. I told her about everything. The cold, the snow, the blocked doors, the hopelessness of it all. Her face got more and more pale as I continued to speak. I finished by telling her that I had come into the washroom because I had heard the sound of running water. We looked around the bathroom as we got closer to the sound. We opened a stall and saw that a pipe had burst and was now spurting water. Cassie opened her backpack and pulled out the leggings she had previously been wearing. I guess she really had her survival instincts kicked into overdrive, as she ripped them in half, shoving one half into the hole as far as she could, and tied the other half around it to keep it there. To my surprise, it seemed to work. We seemed to have stopped the leak for the time being. Cassie looked at me, still seemingly scared out of her mind. "Paul, we have to find Sebastian." Sebastian. I hadn't even thought about him. I had seen him earlier with Cassie, so that must mean he was still stuck here as well. I asked her if she knew where he might be. She said that she was changing so that the two could play basketball in the gym. I offered to go with her to try and find him. After all, more people may increase our chances of getting out of here. Cassie and I exited the bathroom and made our way into the main hallway and found our way to a set of stairs to descend into the main atrium. As soon as we got back to the main floor, we immediately got a slight scent of Sebastian's cologne. He had always been known to have a very heavy scent to him. We followed the scent towards the school gym, and sure enough, there he was. He looked surprised to see me with Cassie, but before he could ask about that, I asked if he had seen the outside. He said he hadn't. We told him everything. He smiled, as if we were playing a joke on him. No, almost had me for a second there," he said as he shot a hoop. He missed, and turned to us. He looked unsettled by the fact that we weren't smiling. "Look, I know it sounds crazy, but we're in big trouble here. If you don't believe me, try the door." He nodded with a smile, and walked towards the door on the side of the gym. He pushed on it with a smirk, but that smirk would quickly fade. More and more with each push. "No," we heard him mutter. No, you're serious?" He started slamming on the door, desperate to get it open. Cassie went over to comfort him, but I didn't know what else to say. I wasn't lying to him. I thought of saying something, but as soon as I was about to, Sebastian chimed in. "The roof," he said. "We can get out from the roof, can't we?" He wasn't exactly wrong, or in theory he wasn't. There was a roof hatch that was accessible from the gym storage room. Cassie, Sebastian, and I pulled on the door to the storage room, and with the little luck we seemed to have, it opened. We entered the room and tried to find a light switch, but we couldn't find one. Cassie pulled her phone out of her backpack and turned on the flashlight, probably the only use left for it. We continued through the storage room until we came to the stairs. The stairs led up to just another level of gym equipment, but on this level, there was a ladder that led to a roof hatch. We searched for the ladder for what felt like an hour in the dark. Our school's gym storage was quite large. We eventually found it, hidden behind a bin of dodgeballs. Cassie shined her light up, and Sebastian volunteered himself to go up. He was definitely itching to get out. He climbed the ladder as Cassie and I could do nothing but watch. Sebastian climbed up the ladder like the world was crumbling beneath him. In a metaphorical sense, I guess it was. It wasn't long before he reached the roof hatch. He let out a breath so loud we heard it from the bottom. After that breath, he slammed on the hatch. And again. And again. But no luck. "Damn it!" he yelled. We could hear Sebastian's broken spirit from that cry. He slammed the wall and the hatch over and over in frustration, but in doing so he lost his balance. He tried to catch himself, but he failed. In a flash, he was coming back to the ground even faster than he went up. Cassie ran to catch him, which she sort of did. Sebastian had managed to sort of lessen his impact by grabbing at all the equipment hanging on the walls on his way down. But still, once he had stopped falling, he made a loud sound on the ground, and was clearly hurt. Cassie held him over her shoulder. We decided to take him to the nurse station. I helped Cassie with moving Sebastian until we got out of the storage room. Once we did, we saw someone enter the gym. "What's going on in here?" It was Chef Bradley, our school's culinary teacher. And in that moment it hit me. There were so many more people in this building. The play practice, Miss Ross, Lena. We told Chef Bradley the whole story. He tried the doors just like I did, and Sebastian did. Without another word, he helped us move Sebastian to the nurse station in the main office, before marching down to the theater and alerting Miss Ross and her class. From then it became a brief madness. Miss Ross, as well as many of her students, ran around the building trying any and all possible exit routes. None were working. There was no way out. Once the insanity broke out, Lena ran to me and hugged me, and all I could think of was how I was glad Lena didn't have to be alone through all this. What would have happened had I not come to bring her food? Miss Ross and Chef Bradley laid down some rules. We would all eat together at scheduled times, and when night came, boys and girls would be separated for the duration of the night and supervised by the teacher of the matching gender. It was their idea of keeping order, I guess. Like I said in my previous entry, all of this was 2 weeks ago. We have nothing to do during the days but entertain ourselves and wait for the snow to melt, which, given how the past weeks have gone, I don't think is going to happen. And so I lay awake at night, recounting these events, hoping someday someone will hear them, while hoping the day that someone hears them, I will still be alive.